Hi there.
So you saw your teacher from Lindsay?
Just Lindsay.
So you're leaving at 5:30?
I'm going to need to get someone else to do that. Yeah. I think it's entirely I know. Thank you. I'm sorry.
So what time would it be?
The thing is, I just don't know. But, I'm ready to talk. I'm in love, and I don't know if we want other people to talk. I haven't timed it out that precisely.
I can leave at 5.
Which one of you are
Do you have Adam's? Okay. I'm here. We want the script.
I'm just trying to think if I can move the way. The thing is, if I move that, it's part of all the undergraduate awards. Let me think.
Okay.
I'll see if I can.
Hi, everyone. Please take a couple of minutes to get food and whatever else you need, and we'll get started in 2 minutes. I just want to Okay, let's do it. Hi, everyone. I'm Eric Dussert. I'm the chair of the Department of Literature. The associate chair, Mike Cabot, is somewhere out there floating around. I just want to thank everyone who contributed to bringing us together here and to all of you for joining us. I hope you have been able to see the slideshow that is going on up here with some of our graduating seniors. If you're wondering about what we're going to be doing for the next hour or so, feel free to take a look at the program, or if you don't want spoilers, then just keep listening to me. The seniors who are graduating now have had their college careers marked, in some ways interrupted by the COVID pandemic. You spent more than a year taking classes online, and like the rest of us, a lot more time attending classes while wearing masks, putting on hand sanitizer, and generally freaking out. So, nonetheless, here we are. You all made it. You've done it in style. We've seen the amazing work that you presented on Literature Day, which is always a high point in the year for the faculty, by the way, because every year the students produce remarkable work. They impress us, they teach us, and they rock the battalion troop. This weekend, the graduating MFA students will get to show their stuff too at their graduation meeting at Politics and Prose. And tonight we're also celebrating just the second cohort of graduates from our new master's program. To say that we're proud of you would be an understatement. This is a massive undertaking, a great accomplishment. Bravo, everyone. And I wanted to thank too all the faculty for their teaching, their scholarship, their service. Special thank yous to Stephanie Grant, Ariel Bernstein, Christina Kakudapi, Lindsay Green Sims, Melissa Scholes-Young, Lacey Wooten, and Marianne Noble, who as program directors and in other important roles in the department did much of the work that made today possible. This is also Stephanie Grant's last year as director of the MFA program, a job that she has performed with skill and grace, and she will be taking a well-deserved sabbatical next year. None of this year's work would have been possible without our office staff, the Senior Administrative Assistant of Doom, Peter Chamberlain, the Administrative Assistant Extraordinaire, Max Reed, and our student assistants, Cheyenne Smith and Sophie Lavender. Max and Peter, I can't see you, but I know you're out there. I see you now. I've been just so lucky to work with both of you this year. Your talents, organizational skills, and generous good humor have made the Literature Office a delightful place to work this year and a welcoming place for faculty and students. As I step down from the chair position, I also want to say that I would never have survived this year without Mike Cabot, the department's associate chair. Having Mike as a partner in this job has been a necessity, but also a pleasure. When we first met our administrative assistant, Peter Chamberlain, Peter asked us, during the interview we were doing with him, by the way, who our favorite member of the comic book team, the X-Men, was. Mike said Cyclops, and this immediately made sense to me. A team leader who's calm under pressure, solves problems intelligently, is always the adult in the room, and can shoot ruby red beams with pure energy from his eyeballs. That's definitely Mike. Next year, I'm very pleased to say that my place will be taken by the excellent Lindsay Green Sims, who is going to be a fantastic chair. Yeah. We can applaud everybody. I'm quite sure that she's the ideal person to guide the department through the next couple of years. I don't know who her favorite comic book character is, so if you run into her the next hour or two, you should probably ask her. And finally, I want to say a word about Lacey Wooten, who has been director of the Writing Studies program for the last 6 years. She's given an enormous amount to the job, and it's been a great pleasure for me to work with her over the past year too. Lacey never seems to stop, to the extent that I sometimes wonder if she clones herself. She's in meetings all day, writing email all day, talking to faculty and students all day, and somehow also teaching classes and grading papers as well. I hope that she will now have a chance for at least a moment to put her feet up, have a stiff drink, and chuckle while thinking about all the work that her successor, Kelly Joyner, is going to be doing next year. Okay, let's turn our attention back to our fabulous students. You had a great year too. Stephanie Grant is going to have more to say about the MFA students later in the program, and Despina Kakadaki will talk about our MA graduates, but I want to spend just a moment talking about the undergrads. I already mentioned Literature Day, when the students present their capstones in a series of panels to the faculty and other students. This was in every way a lively and intellectually rewarding event. So, what happened exactly? Well, students did a dramatic reading from a screenplay about a Panamanian serial killer. We learned about how adaptations of Shakespeare are rethinking the racial politics of his plays, and about how chicken fanciers are making the world a better place. A fictional revolution broke out in Eastern Europe, and a university student fell victim to both vampirism and Gothic prose. Genres and time both went haywire when cyberpunk met the Western and science fiction tackled climate change. The philosopher Kant and the writer Goethe got into a very German conversation about desire. Representations of female athletes in the movies were dissected. A pair of fictional young women explored their problematic relationships, while Black women readers of romance novels stood up and demanded a happy ending of their own. And that is just a sampling of the impressive work that our students produced this year. Of course, our literature students also frequently distinguish themselves outside of the department as well. For example, this semester, Alex Zaki was one of several students who presented capstone work at the Matthias Student Research Conference, winning the Undergraduate Arts and Humanities Workshop section with a creative project entitled Grieving Myself, Trans Reflections on Grief and Social Transition. And Isaiah Washington was honored by the university as the recipient of this year's Harold Johnson Award, which honors a student for promoting cultural and racial diversity and understanding. This seems like a good point in the program to just say, I would like to offer a round of applause to everybody I've just talked about. So now we come to the point in the ceremony for our Literature Department Awards. Let me start by thanking all of our colleagues who set aside time at this very busy point in the semester to judge these awards. Students, when your name is read, if you're here, please come up to the podium so you can get your certificate and we can applaud your accomplishment. If you're not here, do not come up to the podium. So I've rearranged the program a little bit. So where do I go? Somewhere. Anyway, I've lost my place, so I'm just going to call Melissa Scholes Young up here to present. We're going to start by presenting the awards for Best Undergraduate Capstone.
Awards. Let's make it up. You'll be impressed. What a great celebration. Look at the cheese. Look at the cheese. It's really good. It's really good cheese. Get yourself some cheese. We're very excited. Adam Chemishowski and I had the honor of reading the Creative Capstones, which is, believe it or not, an absolute pleasure. It really is, in the midst of a grading season, to be able to see the finished products, especially students that we've known for 4 years, that we've watched take risks in their creative writing and also really find their voice. And so it's an absolute pleasure to read them. Having said that, before I give the award, we wanted to congratulate and award an honorable mention to Alex Zaki for your amazing creative capstone. Yay. This was a really, really tough decision for us, but our winner of the Creative creative writing capstone is Nadia Shimoda. I believe Nadia and her mentor, David Seppinger, are both on Zoom, so a shout out to both of them as they enjoy this as well. Nadia's collection, Goodbye Boys, uses poetry's embrace of complexity to explore the nexus of identities on which Shalom faces. How does one experience contemporary events when one lived and grew up in a Jewish family in post-Soviet Russia? For instance, in one of the poems, Vladimir Shilov, Nadia writes, I jokingly called it the motherland, but I think it's the country I left to my fathers. This theme of alienation runs through the work, as later Nadia wrestles with the problem of losing language. Somehow my name still means hope, though I must confess I feel very little of it these days, and I'm starting to forget my dear first language. Feelings of separation appear again and again, separated from nature, as in the powerful The Land Grows Silent, separated from the family, as in My Father on His Way to War, which opens with the admission, I would like for you to kill me first. If you kill me first, maybe I will kill you again. Overall, we found this collection unsettling in the best way of poetry, and we celebrate it as the accomplished beginning of what we hope will be a continued life in letters. So congratulations to Nadia.
And the award for Best Critical Capstone will be presented by Lindsay Green-Sims.
So first, let me just take this opportunity to say hello. I'm going to go off script just a tad bit. I'm not one. I wasn't even supposed to present. I'm not one of the judges. But Professor Sherman and Professor Friedman are able to be here. I just want to congratulate all of the seniors once again. I mean, Professor Dussert talked about Literature Day, how wonderful it was. How the discussions were just they were really intellectually stimulating and fulfilling. Professor Perkins Valdez, who teaches the critical writing section, sent me an email, and she's great with words, and her very beautifully worded email to me about the creative capstones was, wow, Lindsay, these are great. And so I taught the value of literature in the fall, and the critical capstones in the spring. And so actually started with the whole group of seniors in September. And just for those who don't know, this is their thesis is a full academic year. So in September, we asked them to start thinking about ideas. It's a challenge. It's a challenge to think of a project that can sustain you, that's complex, that you can dig into, that you can revise. They meet with mentors, and the mentors this year were fabulous. So just again, a shout out to the wonderful mentors. We ask a lot of them, and as I was grading I'm very glad I didn't have to be a judge. I couldn't have done it. But as I was grading the critical capstones, I consulted with some of the mentors. I had a couple who said this could be a dissertation chapter. And I have students that I'm talking about, like, okay, we need a couple tweaks before we send this to a journal for publication. I mean, that's it. These are really, really outstanding projects. And not only that, I just want to say this is an outstanding group of students, because not only did you really achieve academically, but I just loved watching how you were there emotionally for each other, I loved watching you in peer workshops. I loved your support for each other. I loved how invested you were in each other's success and each other's projects. You give me hope for the future of our country, our world. It was just a beautiful experience to walk with you this semester. So that's my spiel. Now I'm going to just read from the script, which is what Professor Sherman and Professor Friedman wrote as judges for the critical capstone. So they write, the judges had a hard time choosing which of the several senior capstones they thought was the best. After much discussion of the different merits of each submission, they concluded that the prize should be awarded to Trisha Mohan for her capstone, The Model Indian, the messaging of India through the great Indian graphic novel. This ambitious essay looks at a series of graphic novels about Indian culture, religion, and folklore published by Amar Chitrakatha, a publishing venture founded in the late 1960s that has expanded over the years and now targets children and young adults in Indian American communities. Trisha argues that these much beloved comics used in the diaspora to keep the rising generation in touch with their home country, in fact, promote a form of Indian identity that insidiously reinforces casteism, colorism, and Hindu nationalism. Trisha's thrilling contextualization of these graphic novels combines economic and political history, textual and graphic analysis, and theoretical contributions about imagined communities, print capitalism, and religious pedagogy. The international scope of her survey, her extensive scholarly research together with her close readings of individual images, frames, and exchanges made her capstone stand out as an exemplar of excellent work. Congratulations, Trisha. She's taken enough classes with me that she could have a minor in Greenson studies. So I feel like I should have printed out the first official minor. But it was fabulous. Thank you.
Next, I'd like to ask Lacey Wooten to come up to present the Jane Stanhope Award.
So I'm going to speak for the Writing Studies program for the moment, which is primarily for first-year writing. We have continued to be remarkably active, and we've made a lot of revisions to our program structure, our policies. But the sort of really big news out of the Writing Studies program is that we've put together a proposal for a minor in writing and rhetoric that is going to launch in the fall of 2024, which does none of you any good at all. But tell your friends and your people you've had in classes that this is coming, and we're really excited about it. I think it's going to be great for our undergraduate students. And I am looking out there and seeing a number of graduate students who are going to be joining our faculty in the fall, and we're all very excited about that too, that they're going to be working with our first-year students in the fall. For the moment, though, I want to talk about one of our faculty members. Each year, we single out the achievements of one of our Writing Studies adjunct faculty for recognition. The Jane Stanhope Award was established in 1998 to honor a long-serving director of the Writing Studies program. It recognizes outstanding work by a member of the Writing Studies program's adjunct faculty. This year's recipient of the Stanhope Award is Renee Bailey. Renee, could you come up, please? I'd like to stand there while I talk about him. Renee is an expert teacher whose courses engage and challenge students. For example, her most recent Writing 101 course theme centered on feminism and labor and the way that rhetoric both creates hegemonic structures and resists them. In class, Renee fosters student participation with varied activities and multiple opportunities for students to create the shared knowledge of the class. Renee has also helped the Writing Studies program by her willingness to teach a variety of classes, including sections restricted to international students and to multilingual writers. And she has stepped in when we have needed a mid-semester replacement. Currently, Renee serves as the adjunct faculty liaison to the Writing Studies program's monthly meetings. We've been lucky to have Renee as a member of our faculty, and our students have benefited as well. It's with gratitude and admiration that I present the Jane Stanhope Award to Renee Bailey.
Next, I'd like to bring up Despina Kakidafi, one of the co-chairs of our MA program in Literature, Culture, and Technology.